Let me tell you what I just found out. I found out that my name is on the website for the big GOP convention being planned in Dallas, Texas, coming up for the midterms here. And so, yeah, my name's on the speakers list. And I found that absolutely hysterically funny. And I was like, well, what kind of speech would I even give? I mean, imagine being a Republican campaigning right now. What do you campaign on? I'm not a Democrat. I don't support Democrats either, but I certainly won't support President Trump and Republicans when they are not supporting the American people.
Well, they apparently asked her to be a speaker for Trump's Great American Comeback midterm election. Can't imagine a worse person as well, maybe me. So Anna has the full story.
Yeah, honestly, Cenk, I don't even think they asked her. I think she just happened to discover that her name was on the official list for the event as a speaker. And she was never asked. She didn't agree to it. She doesn't want to be part of it. So as of the production of this story today, Marjorie Taylor Greene's name is still listed as a potential speaker, with the official list allegedly coming out soon. Like, okay, let's pause for a second. Can you imagine, Cenk? Here's the list of the, I guess, unofficial speakers who haven't agreed to speak, but they're gonna put out the list anyway. Like, imagine you and I are putting an event together, a public event, and we just brainstorm on the various people that we want to invite to be speakers, but we haven't reached out to them, they haven't agreed. But we put out that brainstorming session for the public to see anyway. It seems like that's what they did.
Yeah, it's not like Trump's team has a lot of moral qualms about lying. So it's not, it's like, imagine, I'm picturing that conversation. We'd be like, whoa, people didn't agree to that. The Trump team's like, oh, who cares if they agreed or not? Let's just put it out there. Right. So there's two other people on the list, by the way, Anna, that I thought, are you sure they agreed to this too? One is John Cornyn, the former senator from Texas soon. And why is he the former senator? Because Trump endorsed Ken Paxton in the primary against him. So no, Cornyn is not going to be talking about the Great American Comeback midterm election because he's not even part of it. And then the second name that popped out at me was Melania. I don't think she's gonna go there.
No, she might speak. I mean, after all that news came out about Trump's executive assistant, whose name I've already forgotten, she started making Natalie Harp. Yeah, she started making a lot of public appearances, like, "Hey, remember me?" So who knows? She might. But I hear you on Cornyn. I agree. And by the way, they say that their official list is coming out soon. I should note that the convention is right around the corner. It's slated for September 9th and 10th. And by the way, this is the first time the RNC is hosting a midterm convention, which I hope doesn't get normalized. I hope Democrats don't start doing their own version of this. Like, please don't, but who knows, we'll see. According to the RNC, over the course of 2 nights this fall, Republicans from all over our great nation will convene in Dallas, Texas for a clear purpose: to support the outstanding slate of GOP candidates running in the midterm elections this fall and articulate all we have done and will continue to do to strive for what our founding, this is so hilarious, our founding fathers fought for 250 years ago, a more perfect union. You guys have been at like the forefront of violating speech rights here in the United States on behalf of your donors who support Israel. Please spare me your BS about how you value our constitutional rights. The website doesn't even really mention any candidates, by the way. Instead, it just kind of looks like it's promoting a Trump rally or some sort of celebration. And what exactly is it celebrating? They claim the America First agenda. Let's pause for laughter. What America First agenda? We're literally shelling out hundreds of billions of dollars to fight a war against Iran for Israel. So how are you gonna say that you're promoting an America First agenda? The American comeback is something else that they're apparently gonna celebrate. I don't know, Cenk. I don't think we ever came back. I think things have only further devolved. The American comeback, recognizing the hardworking Americans, innovators, entrepreneurs, manufacturers, farmers, ranchers, and farmers. I like that he mention those people because they've definitely been shafted. First responders, veterans, law enforcement officers. Anyway, the list goes on. And they claim that this is to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not buying it. Here's what she had to say.
Imagine being a Republican campaigning right now. What do you campaign on? Do you campaign on no more foreign wars while the president drug us into a war with Iran on behalf of Israel? Is that what you campaign on? Do you campaign on affordability, lowering the cost of housing and groceries and gasoline? That's pretty hard to do, especially under full Republican control. Affordability has not gotten better. Cost of housing hasn't gotten better. And gas and diesel is not better at all because of the president's broken campaign promises and betrayal of him running off and going to war with Iran and bombing a children's school, blowing up a bunch of kids and then totally denying it or claiming it's under investigation.
She then went on to suggest that maybe the Republicans would be better off focusing on what their bread and butter essentially is when it comes to campaigning, culture war nonsense.
What else do you campaign on? Oh, wait, stopping the trans agenda on children. Well, it's kind of tough when Senate Republicans refuse to pick up the bill, my bill, as a matter of fact, that would make it a felony to perform transgender surgeries and treatments on anyone under the age of 18. What do you campaign on? The MAHA agenda? Oh, wait. They gave full protection to glyphosate. Kind of hard to campaign on MAHA on that one. And COVID vaccines are still running rampant because it still has FDA approval. And then they approved another mRNA vaccine for the flu. Jeez, where do you go from there? Oh, we could talk about putting America first in our food supply, except the president just threw American cattlemen under the bus and is now going to import a bunch of foreign mystery meat. So it's pretty tough to find things to campaign on. I can't imagine what kind of speech I would give, which is why I won't be giving a speech at the GOP Midterm Convention in Dallas.
So she's done with the Republican Party, and that much is clear. Really quick point about glyphosate. While RFK Jr. claimed that he was going to fight hard to ban the use of glyphosate, obviously that didn't happen. What's even worse is just yesterday, Cenk, I did a report about what the Israelis are doing to southern Lebanon to basically make it uninhabitable, just like they did with Gaza. And one of the chemicals that they've been deploying in southern Lebanon is high levels of glyphosate. And we are basically spraying that on our food and consuming it. Fantastic. The other thing that I'll note is what she said about the ranchers getting shafted is 100% true. Trump did allow for tariff-free and discounted meat to come in from Argentina. Now, 30,000 pounds of that meat has now been recalled. We don't know exactly why, but obviously due to safety concerns. And our ranchers were upset, understandably so, because it's flooding the market with price-controlled meat because Trump wanted the meat sold at a 25% discount, which sounds like price fixing to me. But anyway, back over to you.
Socialism. Okay, so there's things that Marjorie Taylor Greene listed there that we agree with and we don't agree with. But what is clear is that that was their agenda and they didn't do it. They didn't do any of that agenda. They tried mass deportation. She didn't talk about that, but and then it didn't work and it became deeply unpopular and they shot a bunch of Americans. And by the way, a bunch of the right wingers and the podcasters turned on even the ICE enforcement as well. So she's right about the core message she's got there, which is, what are you gonna run on? You literally didn't do anything for Americans and you didn't even do your agenda, whether people agreed with it or didn't agree with it. What's the only thing you did? Start wars for Israel. And then they had the audacity to say what our founding fathers fought for 250 years ago. What did they fight for? Like, my God, I hope we serve a tiny little foreign country for the rest of our lives and we spend trillions of dollars fighting all their wars for them. And if they're ever going to slaughter a different set of people and keep them occupied for 60 years and like the most brutal fascism you could imagine, I hope to God they make America pay for it. I'm pretty sure they said the opposite. I'm pretty sure the founding fathers, including George Washington, said do not get entangled in foreign alliances, let alone serve another country completely. So they all warned about this, and unfortunately Trump has done the opposite of their warnings, and he's done the opposite of helping the average American. And Anna, one other thing, Israel pops up so often in these conversations, but it's not just about that issue. It's that they're a proxy for, do you care about the voters or the donors? If you cared about the voters, you would try to do your agenda, whether we agreed with it or not. But he hasn't tried to do almost any of that at all. Instead, he's been obsessed with Israel and doing everything they have commanded him to do, and he has 100% of what they've asked him to do. Okay, so that shows you that that's not normal. That's not what a normal government does. You don't have the Canadian Prime Minister going, what do they need in Bolivia? We got to do whatever Bolivia wants. That is extraordinarily abnormal. You do that when you're paid to do that, when you serve the donor class. And it's not just Israel they serve. They serve any donor that comes in and goes, you know what, that's it. I want you to snap up federal land and we need data centers. I need you to import beef from other countries. I need you to do this, this, and this. He's not just serving the foreign government, he's serving every corporate PAC that donated to his campaign. And that's why you've gotten absolutely nothing from him. And this is how our politics works. They never ever serve us, and they take turns screwing us over. But Trump has done it in such spectacular fashion that he's even lost a third of his own base.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his approval rating stands at 33%, which is even lower than Biden's was as he was leaving the White House. And Biden was not a popular president at all.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.